Hello everybody, this is Goji Ron, and this is my review on the SH Monster Arts SpaceGodzilla Fukuoka Decisive Battle version. SH will always make the most weird and insane names, but here is the figure. This guy will retail for about $170 American dollars. For a price that steep, this figure has to be worth it. Now looking at the back, it does look pretty detailed, but this has to be noted that this is a re-release of an older figure. So that will definitely play a part into whether or not this is worth that price point. Now, let's look at the figure itself. He comes with these accessories, by the way. More on that later on. Overall, the paint and sculpt on this figure is pretty good. Starting with the tail here, you can see that it has a pretty nice translucent and crystalline ending that is pretty reminiscent of the movie. The tail is going to feature the classic Godzilla scaly, liney texture you're going to see on any SH Monster Arts figure of this type. This is going to be continued on the legs and, of course, on the back, where there is also the beautiful and definitely pointy crystals. The head as well is going to be beautiful. And look at those spikes. They are indeed translucent, as you would expect from SH. Even the giant spike is translucent, a little bit at least. The arms as well are going to have the same type of detailing that we saw on the legs, including the fingernails are going to be detailed as well. Same with the toenails, where there is interestingly a little purple hue near the roots. The fingernails follow the same idea of having a little bit of brownish black around the roots of the nail. The head sculpt is actually pretty accurate to the movie. You can see all his teeth are sculpted pretty well, including the two side ones, and he has those angry eyebrows that we always know SpaceGodzilla to have. If there's a closer look at his face, you can see the detail much more accurate than a lot of their other figures. Even the inside of the mouth is going to feature a lot of detail. You can see his tongue, all the guttural details inside. That tongue has the nice line. Even the roof of the mouth is going to be detailed fully. And the top of his head is going to feature that beautiful translucent crown, which is definitely going to shine in the light very, very nicely. Overall, sculpting on this figure is pretty damn good. Paint on this figure is going to feature a light or dark blue base with black sprayed on top. This is pretty evident on the leg here. Same thing on the arms and the entirety of the body. Same on the tail here as we go through. There are areas of more black and areas of more dark blue, which I don't exactly like, as well as some red lines coming up the crystals, like veiny details I actually like a lot. Front is going to be a glossy dark red, maybe a little bit too glossy. And it's also going to feature some lighter red sparkled on top that I think is pretty good. The head has some pretty well painted eyes, honestly, when you look at some of SH's other figures. And of course, those crystals will be painted nicely all the way through. Yeah, the back crystals are not painted that well at all. Just look at them. Oh my gosh. Look at this end of the tail here. It goes from white to gray to white, again to gray and white. It just keeps changing. It's just so, how does this happen? I don't know what SH was doing. And look here. Look at this sloppy, sloshy paint job. It was just slapped on. It's all over the black beneath. Painting on this figure is going to be alright, at least a B+. Could be much better, but what is there is okay. But what about articulation? The tail is going to be articulated like any basic SH Monster Arts tail, but it's an older one, so it has all these spinny parts on it as well, which I don't like at all. Newer figures do not have this problem, but this one definitely does, and it's really annoying. By the way, I forgot to say, the bottom of the tail is painted all the way until the tip with a dark red color that mimics the front. That tail is gonna No worries there, we'll just snap it back in. And like I was saying, the tail can move side to side with a lot of posability, tons of segments throughout. There we go, it can go all that much up and completely flat down on the ground. It can also move left and right a lot. You can see here how I turned it completely right. These spinny things do get very annoying moving that tail. Here, it does go a lot to the side. Oh my gosh. Might as well talk about this. This end of the tail does feature a lot of ball joints. It can move a little bit up and a little bit down in and of itself, but I almost wish it was a bendy wire instead. It's just kind of a solid brick for the most part. The leg itself can move very well. It can move this much forward, this much back, while making some scary sounds. And it can also have a pretty decent spread, although that's not the greatest sound. I don't recommend spreading it too far. You can move the part of the leg here back and forward a lot. There's a lot of ball joints and swivels to be found in the bottom part of the leg, even to the sides. Here's a better view from the side here. It can move all that much forward. It's actually a lot more forward than I expected, and it can move very far back. It's a pretty good leg for such a beefy figure. It can move a lot to the side where he can, I guess, have a broken foot, and barely in the side you kind of want it to move, but since he can barely spread his legs anyways, it doesn't matter. The arms are going to feature tons of ball joints as well, one at the top and also one at the shoulder where he can move up and also swivel. The hand is of course going to be on a ball joint as well. It can go up and down side to side. But this arm, I have a lot of problems with that arm. I just hate it. This arm came to me completely messed up. Look at it. You can see his elbow moves the wrong way. I don't know why. You might think just swivel it and it'll fix the problem, but I have tried that. I've swiveled it so many ways and done so many directions. It does not want to go properly. I don't know what went wrong with this arm, but it's frustrating. Moreover, the hand keeps falling off. The moment that you try to touch it, it just falls. It does not stay on, ever. Moving on from the arm, SpaceGodzilla is also going to feature an ab crunch that'll allow him to move forward, and we're going to talk about that head soon, and back. And also, of course, move back. It's actually a pretty useful swivel, as you can see. Again, can go really back and pretty far forward. But moreover than that, it can also turn left and right. It is stretching some plastic, but I think it's okay. You can even kind of turn. You can make him look confused. Now, let's look at that head. Okay, let's ignore that. Let's look at his head. His head can move pretty far up, honestly, for a figure like this. He can look pretty straight up. I wish he had a beam accessory as well so you can stick it in. And he can of course look down, but that's another problem. His head keeps falling off whenever you try moving it. Let's move it maybe a little bit more gingerly, and yeah. That head does not want to stay in. Overall, there is SpaceGodzilla with all his parts detached, and here are the accessories. The first ones are these battle damage crystals, which you can switch out with the ones on his body. Here you can see, you just grab it and pull out very tightly. This one is definitely pretty scary. Get that off. And then grab the other one. You kind of just have to look around and feel for whichever one is the right one, not that one. This one is right. You just push it on. Again, scarily tight. And there he is with 1 battle damage and 1 full crystal, definitely a good display option. Next, you can switch them out again to get both crystals on at the same time. And there he is, fully battle damage. The next accessories are these lightning that you can put on the fully proper crystals. There is a proper way you can put them on, but it really doesn't matter. You can slide them on any way you want. It looks the exact same. And I don't think it really matters. It might stress the piece a little bit, but there's no way it's gonna snap just by putting it on like that. I really like this look. And that is SpaceGodzilla with all his accessories. Overall, he is a pretty great figure in my opinion, but he is not without his problems. By the way, those crystals are definitely translucent and would look really nice in a lighting setup. But like I said, SpaceGodzilla is not without his problems. This includes sloshy, bad, cheap paint, parts falling off, including this crystal for whatever reason, which isn't even supposed to come off. And he's just not that amazing of a figure, but he's not that bad either. And I think he's a pretty good overall figure if you have the money for it. If you're a fan of SpaceGodzilla, he's probably one of the best ones on the market right now. There's not many other options, and this isn't a bad option either. The problem is that $170 price. If you're okay paying that, then do it. But in the end, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Please subscribe if you want to see more reviews and repaints in the future, and I'd always love and appreciate a like on the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.